Now for more than a year, Vince McMahon has been absent from the WWE scene because to his continuing legal battle with Janelle Grant effectively put an end to his tenure with the company. And while the majority of fans are undoubtedly pleased with Triple H managing creative behind the scenes and managing many of the bigger picture aspects of WWE, with many believing that Hunter has only improved the organization since taking over and improved the weekly shows and premium live events, there is no denying that some fans are wondering how Vince McMahon feels about the current WWE product and the company's overall direction now that he is no longer involved with it. Mark Shapiro, the president of Endeavor TKO, recently told CNBC in an interview that he had breakfast with Vince McMahon a few weeks prior to meet up with him following the release of the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix. This was the first shocking statement he made. I had breakfast with him a few weeks ago just to check in. Been a long time, haven't heard from him at all. Obviously this series on Netflix came out. I wanted to see kind of where he was. By the way, he couldn't have been more cooperative, he couldn't have been nicer. He was a total pro at breakfast. If you will, it's a one-on-one get-together, but he's out of the business entirely. He doesn't make decisions, he's not on the board, he doesn't we don't consult him. He's got some litigation that he's working through, and frankly he wants the privacy and the time to work through it, which is great, because in the meantime we're going to keep building TKO and WWE and expanding the horizon, expanding the opportunities. And by the way, he's still a shareholder, not the shareholder he once was, but he's still a shareholder. When asked about Vince McMahon's thoughts on the current landscape of WWE and its direction, Shapiro stated that the quote couldn't have been more positive, but I wasn't asking for his opinion. As a result, Vince McMahon will probably continue to be banned from WWE television until his name is cleared in the Janelle Grant lawsuit. This makes sense, but it's obvious that Vince believes Triple H and DKO are running things creatively now that he has left the company. Wrestling fans were left stunned by the result of the Roman Reigns and the Usos vs. the Bloodline match at Crown Jewel 2024 this past weekend. The shock came not only from Reigns, Jimmy, and Jay losing to the new Bloodline, but also because Roman Reigns himself was pinned by Solo Sikoa for the 3 count to end the match. For context, Reigns getting pinned is an extremely rare event, making Triple H's choice to have him take the fall a controversial one among fans. Many questioned this booking choice, especially given Reigns' dominant standing over the past few years. Despite the loss, it's clear that this plot is far from over. Fans have been eager to hear from Roman Reigns following the shocking loss, as he was clearly devastated after the match. Thankfully, Reigns seems to be in good spirits, as he broke his silence on social media earlier today. He posted several photos from Crown Jewel with a cryptic caption, TBC, which many fans think stands for, to be continued. This subtle message suggests that the tribal chief has no plans to back down and is likely planning his next move. Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline may have emerged successful at Crown Jewel, but the OG Bloodline story is far from finished. The defeat has set the stage for a possible rematch, possibly at Survivor Series, War Games later this month. Survivor Series has long been a stage for intense faction fighting, and this ongoing Bloodline saga seems tailor-made for the event. Fans are already guessing about who might join Reigns and the Usos in their quest for redemption. One of the most popular theories includes the return of Sami Zayn to stand alongside Reigns and the Usos. Zayn's past alliance with the Bloodline was a highlight of WWE programming, and his presence in this feud could add another layer of intrigue. Additionally, fans are hopeful that Paul Heyman, the Wiseman, will return to give his strategic expertise to the original Bloodline. Heyman's presence has always been pivotal in Reigns' success, and his return could signal a renewed focus for the faction. The storyline between the original and new Bloodline has captivated WWE fans, and the shocking events of Crown Jewel have only intensified the expectation for what's next. Reigns, known for his meticulous planning and psychological warfare, is unlikely to let this loss go unavenged. The cryptic TBC message suggests that major developments are on the horizon, and fans will be watching closely as this feud unfolds in the coming weeks. As Survivor Series approaches, the stage is set for one of the most exciting scenes in the Bloodline saga. Whether Reigns can regroup and lead his team to victory remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, the fight between the OG Bloodline and the new Bloodline is far from over. Fans can expect high drama, intense action, and perhaps even some unexpected turns as WWE continues to elevate this gripping storyline. Following Malachi Black's bizarre defeat to Adam Cole last night on Dynamite, many fans wondered if this was the end of Malachi Black in you. One source, Fightful Select, stated that the word backstage in All Elite Wrestling is that his contract with the company is up either in late 2024 or early next year, depending on whether any extension is granted. This information has now been made public regarding Malachi Black's status with All Elite Wrestling. The star was previously known as Aleister Black in WWE, and it is evident that a WWE comeback could be imminent for the former NXT champion. You now exercises clauses. Malachi Black had reportedly requested his release in 2022, with rumors at the time indicating that he was interested in rejoining WWE. However, Tony Kh and All Elite Wrestling ultimately denied his request, and since Malachi Black was reportedly on the outs with All Elite Wrestling, there's a good chance that he was planning to rejoin WWE soon, which makes perfect sense. A return to the company would seem very appealing for the wrestler who was once known as Aleister Black, especially since his wife Selena Vega currently works for WWE, and Aleister's return would allow the couple to spend a lot more time together, which is probably what they both want. Malachi Black hasn't been doing anything particularly noteworthy in a while, and Triple H is unquestionably in charge of creative in WWE. Please let us know in the space provided below if you're thrilled about an Aleister Black WWE comeback in the near future, or if you think he's better off staying in All Elite Wrestling. Back in May, after losing the Women's World title to Liv Morgan, Becky left the ring. It was Becky herself who initially raised the issue of her uncertain status and future with the organization. Becky said that she only had 2 months left on her contract and that the organization had not yet contacted her regarding a possible extension during the journey to WrestleMania. With their expiration date so near at the time, fans were a little taken aback to see that the front office and board of directors had not even extended the contract for one of their biggest talents. However, it turns out that Becky wasn't lying when she said she didn't have an extension signed. She wrestled her last match of that contract when those 2 months arrived. Since Becky Lynch has been out of the ring for more than 6 months, fans are still wondering if this is her last match or if she will ultimately make a comeback. The successful signing of a new agreement by Seth Rollins a few months ago was the first significant indication that Becky Lynch would be rejoining the company. If Becky decides to wrestle again, fans believe she will likely stay and appear on the same show as him because her husband recently received a new contract. Following all of the reports from Backstage Pass's WrestleVotes Radio that the company has allegedly been in discussions with major athletic apparel retailers, and that one of the names that came up during this conversation was for Becky Lynch's items, there is now a new hint regarding her return to the company. Although this doesn't exactly mean that Becky will return, the company owns the name, of course, and they are free to use it however they please. Fans get the distinct impression that if they are thinking about releasing new Becky Lynch merchandise, it must be because they anticipate seeing the character's creator return to their shows soon. It appears that the subject of whether Becky Lynch will return has been resolved. It is increasingly apparent that the only thing left to inquire about is when she will return. Although the exact date of Becky Lynch's comeback is yet unknown, WrestleVotes Radio feels it is likely to happen anytime between Royal Rumble to before WrestleMania 41. Thus, it looks like the wait to see Becky Lynch return to the wrestling ring is almost over.